struggle. One of them produced a handgun, one of the males involved. He was able to fire that gun multiple times. It did strike a woman and another juvenile male that was involved. The woman did suffer life-threatening injuries. She was transported to the hospital where she does remain in critical but stable condition. In regards to the male, he was treated and released. That same male that was shot and suffered that non-life-threatening injury, he did have a knife on him that was used on the shooter, and he was cut a couple of times. There was another adult male that was involved. He did suffer a non-life-threatening injury. They were all transported to the hospital. They were all released with the exception of that woman. So our investigators were able to interview everybody involved. Currently, the investigation does remain active, and for right now, after consultation with the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, the individuals were released pending the investigation.
So as of right now, no any suspects or arrests at this point?
Everybody involved has been identified and contacted, but at this point, again, we are still waiting for the conclusion of the investigation to make a charging decision.
And you did state the injuries, and it's the woman is still...
Correct. There was a woman that was shot, and she does remain in the hospital. Again, she's stable, but remains in critical condition.
This is probably out there. Do we know why these people were at the airport?
So I can tell you it's still an ongoing investigation, so as far as their relation and so forth, it still remains part of the case.
So no information if they were working there or traveling? So it's
Correct.
on
I can confirm that they were not travelers.
Can you provide a better timeline of the explanation with Cole Nennen? I assume he's the...
Yes, so this initial call of the shooting, it came out, I want to say about a little after 9 o'clock in the evening. Now the other individual, Cole Ninon, he actually responded to the airport. This was actually a message that he received from somebody they knew that was at the airport that a shooting occurred. He showed up nearly 2 hours later. I believe he got there just before 11:30 p.m. He was armed with some guns. He was able to give those guns to other individuals at the airport, and as he was walking through, he saw an officer. Officer gave him commands to stop. He did not. There was a brief altercation with him. The officer was able to take him to the ground and into custody with the assistance of some other individuals there. So he is currently facing aggravated assault on police officer charges because of that assault. We were able to recover 3 handguns that have been impounded.
And is he in custody right now?
Yeah, he has been arrested and booked into the Maricopa County Jail.
So as these two incidences are being treated as separate incidences?
Correct. They are not linked. Just simply the reason why he came to the airport might have been the reason why he showed up, but again, there's no involvement with either parties.
I'm not sure if you can speak this, but what did Ninon?
Ninon.
What did he tell detectives as to why he was at the airport?
He was able to tell detectives he did come there because he received a message that there was a shooting at the airport. Again, he arrived a couple hours later.
Mind if I just adjust your microphone really quick?
Yeah.
I think it's rubbing up on your badge. Sorry.
Gotcha.
I may ask you that same question.
Yeah,
one time.
that's fine.
Did Ninon say why he was at the airport?
So officers were able to speak to Ninon after he was taken into custody. He did say that he came to the airport after he received some kind of message indicating there was a shooting that happened earlier in the evening.
Kind of to backtrack really quick, do we know what and I apologize if you answered this, what is the relationship between the victim and the suspects in the shooting and stabbing?
That still is part of an ongoing investigation.
This, I know you can't really say, was a boyfriend targeting his girlfriend and her family, or vice versa?
Again, as far as the relationship and the details, that's still information their detectives are sifting through. We do hope to have answers to that at the conclusion of the investigation.
You mentioned the condition of the individuals who were affected. In that first incident, no arrests have been made?
Correct. So the incident that occurred earlier in the evening involving the shooting and that stabbing, there was 4 individuals that were taken to the hospital, 3 of them with non-life-threatening injuries, 1 with life-threatening injuries, which was that adult female.
Gotcha.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, you did perfectly.
Okay.
And lastly, why did the airport put out over the loudspeakers that there was an active shooter? Was that done at the request of PD, or is this like a precautionary?
I don't have information on that being broadcasted at all. Again, having the information we have now, there's no indication that there was an active shooter in it. But again, as far as to what was broadcasted, I don't have that with me.
That's all the questions that I was pre-given. In your opinion, how is this whole thing handled? Like, I mean, it's Christmas at the airport. It's incredibly busy. And how do you think that all the parties involved kind of handle this terrible situation?
Well, as far as the individuals involved in it, again, it's still part ongoing investigation, so I don't want to speak on their actions or what they should have done. But in regards to our officers, their response was swift. That information came out. Again, they were able to take we're talking about the scene where the shooting actually occurred. 2 individuals that were involved actually left the scene and they were contacted, so officers were able to get everybody involved within a short period of time. And as you can imagine, dealing with a scene where somebody was shot and transported to the hospital, as they're dealing with that, they have another individual that comes unrelated to this and presents another threat with our officers, and they were able to respond and take him into custody. So again, our officers are out there, they're vigilant. We do appreciate also the partnership we have with the airport, being able to get that information out to the public and ensuring that, again, holiday travels aren't affected by this incident. So again, considering all circumstances, I'm happy to say again that we were able to get everything as far as the investigation going, but we do also hope to be able to get some answers to what happened with all these parties involved.
And with the second incident with Ninon showing up, I was there. There was confusion. We heard yelling. We turned around, saw him tussling with the officer, heard that he may have spit on the officer. The officer was able to get him down, and there was a TSA agent who actually helped apprehend the suspect, and there were other parties involved as well before the officers were able to assist. Anything to say to those people who helped the officer out?
We always appreciate the assistance, not just from a law enforcement perspective, but any citizen that does step in and help out our officers. As you can imagine, the scenarios they're not planned. You know, we always want to make sure we go home safe, and sometimes if that's from assistance from a community member, we're always appreciative of that. But again, we only want people to be involved, again, if they're in the ability to do so. If not, calling for help for us is also would be great. But again, we're very grateful to those individuals that stepped in and helped out our officer, and again, to make sure he goes safe, but also to bring that to a quick result.
Perfect. And can you tell us, last question, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
Was Ninon intoxicated or maybe under the influence of something? He seemed off.
In regards to his state or his level of impairment, that's something that more likely was assessed when he went to the jail.
Perfect. Is there anything else that you would like to say about this whole incident?
No, again, we do appreciate the community's patience with it. Again, there was several moving parts in this, and especially something that can affect travel, especially in this busy time of the year. But again, we want to make sure that we give these incidents the time it deserves. We want to make sure we get everything right and get that accurate information out to the public. So we appreciate that, and again, do follow us on X, where we do make sure to get that information out there, the appropriate information in a timely manner.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.